6 different types of Leffe, but which one is the best one when you don't know what you're drinking? Hello and welcome back to the channel, and yes, today I'm taking a look at 6 different types of Leffe beer from Belgium to find out which indeed is the best. A lot of these will probably not look all that familiar to those of you in the UK, but trust me, when you go over to Europe, you walk into any supermarket and are just greeted with, well, a myriad of options. I've probably cheekily titled this something like every Leffe style blind tasted. The reality is, actually there's more than this, a lot more, but these are all of them. These are every Leffe tasted that were in my fridge, but this is a good subset of the regularly produced ones. They do special editions and that sort of stuff. We've got the one that most people will be familiar with, Leffe Blonde. This is the proper version though, not the UK one that's now at 6. This is the 6.6% Belgian official version. We've got Leffe Brune, which comes in at 6.5%, so just a smidge lower. We've got the Amber, which is 6.6 again, so should be very similar to the Blonde, but maybe a bit more malty. We've then got the Ruby, which clocks in at 5%. And then we're on to the big stuff, a triple blonde, 8.5, which no surprise is 8.5%. And then Leffe Rituel 9, which again, no prizes for guessing, is a 9% beer. I'm doing this blindfolded because, to be honest, with the exception of the blonde and the 2 stronger ones, they're all likely to look very, very different. So I'm going to go away now, pour these out, get blindfolded, and get testing. Okay, all of them are in the glasses. They're looking pretty good, and my kind of concerns over reviewing these blind but not blindfolded is, I think, quite valid. They all look very, very different indeed. The Ruby there, the Q coming off that is, well, it almost looks like AMBRÉE, if I'm totally honest. But they all look pretty good in the glasses. These obviously aren't the proper glassware, but taster glasses for a mass tasting. I don't have 6 identical Belgian glasses. In fact, I don't even have 2 identical Belgian glasses. So this is what we're going with. I've written the name of what they are on the front of each one so that, firstly, you've got a good idea of what's going on, even though I won't. And I'll put it on screen anyway, I'm sure, in the edit. But yeah, we're going to do this. I'm going to rate them all kind of in order, but I'm also going to give them a rating for aroma and taste without knowing what the style is meant to be, just in terms of what I personally think is, you know, the good or bad about each beer. And then of course at the end of the video we'll have a nice little tally up to see which the winner is. I'll be honest, I've got strong suspicions that the regular blonde is going to be hard to beat, but well, I've been wrong before. Right then, Mrs. Crummy Beard, my lovely assistant, is in and mic'd up.
I am indeed.
She's going to take the beers away, bring them back to me one at a time. I'm going to try not to spill them. Let's get taste testing.
Are you ready?
I am ready. I am very disorientated. I don't know what's going on.
So we're coming in with beer number 1.
So it looks dark because everything looks dark to me right now. Aroma-wise, fruity, big time. Big fruity notes. It's got, I'll be honest, kind of lager and black vibes going on, like big black currant. It smells delicious though. Slightly sour. Obviously they don't do a sour beer, but if you gave me a sour beer that smelt that way, I would like you a lot. It's super fruity, not massively hoppy or malty though. It's probably not what I'm looking for in a Belgian style, but it does smell really good. So I'm going to lose a point for just not being particularly Belgian forward. It's going to lose a point for not having much of that beer characteristic, and maybe another half point for it being just a touch too sweet. So I think my masses, that's a 7.5 on the aroma. Okay, let's get into it. The first blind one. I think I know what this is because it's so fruity. I say that, I can't remember. I think this is the AMBRÉE looking one, but whichever one that is, I think that's the Ruby. We'll give it a go. Cheers. Ooh, okay. Aroma, big, sweet, a bit maybe too easygoing. Taste though, sweet, malty, and a bit hoppy right up front there. A little bit of citric acid bitterness towards the mid palate. Nice, sweet, fruity tones towards the back. Proper. It feels authentic, like not just a mass load of puree. I'm sure it probably is. Let's be honest, Leffe is now owned by AB InBev, so yeah. But It feels authentic enough. Decent bit of water profiling on the back end. It's very nice, I've got to say. It's very nice. But again, not fully Belgian, not fully rich. It's just lagging in a few places. And for me, I think that's got to mean it's another 7.5.
And are you ready for beer number 2?
I am always ready for beer number 2. I might change my mind by beer number 6, but definitely by beer number 2, we're in. Right then. This is what it is. Again, I can see absolutely nothing. Immediately, Belgian, yeasty, funky note. Like, this is what I was hoping for in the beers in this test. I think some of the sweetness has stuck to my moustache from the previous beer, so I'm like, it smells fruity as well, but I don't think it does. It's soft, it's not punchy, it's not effervescent, it's not filling my nostrils with aroma, this one. Got a bit of that sweet shop foam banana vibe going on, but again, it's not big, you got to dig around for it a little bit. Doesn't smell massively strong, doesn't smell massively sweet, doesn't smell massively malty or dark malt in particular, so I'm going to guess this is one of the lighter ones. Just based on aroma, I think it's not the blonde, because I feel like I know that too well, but it definitely could be. It's not out of the question. I don't think it's any of the stronger ones or any of the dark ones. That only leaves the amber, I think. So that's my pitch. Aroma-wise, it's just a bit too reserved. Yes, it meets the Belgian criteria, but it's so soft, so dialed back. I actually think the aroma on the other one was more interesting in this. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not really doing it for me, so it's going to be a 7. Right then, beer number 2. Cheers. Oh, wow. Okay, what we're learning is Leffe does not translate well aroma to palate. Way bigger, way breadthier, stronger flavours. Bready, tangy Belgian yeast note. It's got the sweet shop vibe still, but it's got a dark berries and cherries vibe. A comment that I've been saying a lot in recent videos about various different things, but it's what I'm getting. It feels slightly pokier. What I will say about this one, if it is a high ABV, then you can tell it's there, but it's not offensive. If it's a lower ABV one, then it's not masking it at all. Like, if this is 6-ish%, it tastes at least 6%. It's nice, the flavours are there, they're interesting, it's much better than the aroma was. It's a bit thin, it's a bit washy, but it's certainly not disappointing. It's got to go better than the aroma score, but I think it's kind of on a par with the flavour of the previous one, so it's another 7.5. I'm sticking with my original guess, which was the amber.
Beer number 3.
Thank you, madame. Beer number 3. Again, as with everything else in the room right now, it's pitch black. Oh, now this is difficult. That's as fruity as the first one. You give me the same beer back again?
Nope.
Nah, it's not quite as sweet as that first one, though. It's got big, again, fruity black currant, kind of strawberry, raspberry vibes. It's making me question a lot of things, because now I think this is the ruby. Interesting. I'll tell you what, it's got sweet fruit, not a lot else. It's got maybe a tickle of that Belgian yeast profile in comparison to the first one, but it's really not big, it's really not strong, it's just about holding on to that de facto style. But as we've learned, aroma is definitely not everything when it comes to these Leffe beers. In terms of a score for the aroma, it's fine, but maybe a little underwhelming, so it's going to match the previous one with a 7. Right then, beer number 3. Cheers. That feels stronger, but it's not alcohol burn, it just has the viscosity, it's got the mouthfeel, it's warming but not burning, still fruity, could be a little bit dark. If this is one of the stronger ones, it's actually, I think, showing really, really well, but it's tangy fruit, much like the aroma, incidentally, this one, compared to the others. It is following that format, loads of tangy fruit, tiny bit of Belgian yeast note, but not really a great deal else. It's far from offensive. It's pretty easy drinking, but I think it's probably quite pokey. I don't know, it's less interesting, but somehow fits the bill of what I'm looking for with the generic style as a whole. So I'm gonna tip it a little bit on the flavour front and give it an 8.
And what do you think that is?
I have absolutely no idea. I've not had the brown for a while, or the brune as these are titled. Yeah, we'll go for the brown just because the other one was too much fruity, it could be that, I don't know. I'm going to go for the brown because I really can't remember what it's like. It's been years since I've had it.
Are you ready for the next one?
Absolutely. Although I must say, drinking this much Belgian beer of different types in one go is starting to get, yeah, a little heavy, a little quickly. Right then, this is, are we on number 4? This is number 4, whatever it is. Aroma-wise, struggling a bit again. I know there's always this thing about Belgian beers being served in a wide-topped glass to get all of that kind of just effervescence aroma off, because they're normally so punchy. But this, again, I'm just on a lot of these. The aroma's really, really not doing it for me. I know these aren't the most open top glasses, but I would expect a bit more, and quite disappointing, if I'm honest. It feels like every one gets a little bit less than the one before it, and that could just be a happenstance of doing them back to back, that your sinuses are so filled with the last thing you had that you can't really appreciate the new thing. But it's fine, it's solid, it has got the yeasty note. It feels very similar to number 2 on the aroma, except for it's more Belgian, less fruited. Oh no, number 2 wasn't fruited. That was, what did I give number 2 for aroma? Because I think it's the same. I think it was 7.5.
Number 2 got a 7.
Got a 7, okay. Yeah, it's the same. It's going to be a 7. It's to try and keep things level. It feels very similar to that. It's kind of the similar level of appreciating. It is there, but it's just not very impressive. Right then, beer number 4. Cheers. Could be a stronger one, very easily. Again, like the previous ones, it's got great mouthfeel, slightly sharp, bit more bitterness. My instinct is that it's possibly the triple blonde, which I've never had before. That's the other part of this test, which is quite interesting. The regular blonde I've had a lot. The brown I've had a lot, but nothing in the last few years. I've had one of the Ritual 9 quite recently, and the others, except for the triple blonde, I've had, but again, not for a very long time. So yeah, memory's not going to do me much good on this, with the exception of possibly the original blonde, and even that I might get wrong. But I'm feeling this might be the triple blonde. It's got that nice soft sweetness from the original Leffe, well, from the original blonde, I should say. But it feels a bit pokey. It could just be the original, but the mouthfeel I think is too good. So, and actually it's a very enjoyable Belgian beer, this. So yeah, this is very much in the wheelhouse of what I'm looking for. 8.5. There could be more, it could be better, but it's pretty damn good. And my guess is the triple blonde.
Are you ready for beer number 5?
I am ready for beer number 5 and a nap. Right then, this is beer number 5, whatever it happens to be. More aroma off this one, smells stronger, smells quite pokey. All Belgian yeast note, not a lot out. Kind of what I want in this style, if I'm honest. Of course, I'm using the word style very loosely here. What I mean is generic Belgian beer, but it's hitting all the notes there. It's prominent, it's a fantastic aroma. It could be better if it is a stronger one. It could be a bit punchier still, but in comparison to everything else, it's easily leading the way. Can't give it a full house, it's not quite there. I feel like I can't give it 9 either, but yeah, it just starts to lose a bit in places. 8.5 for the aroma on this one. Right there. Cheers, beer number 5. I think that's dangerous. I think that's strong and really, really easy to drink. It's warming, but it's smooth, it's sweet, it's bitter, it's balanced. It's quite generic in terms of Belgian beers, as in it's not particularly fruity, it's not particularly hoppy, it's not particularly bitter, it's right down the middle. And I think it might be the Ritual 9, because from memory, and I'd say I had that one relatively recently, it was about a month ago. Yeah, I think that's dangerous territory. It's not the best Belgian beer out there by a long margin, but we're rating these out of 10 compared to each other, not compared to Belgian beers as a whole, and that's going to struggle to be beaten. It's still not good enough for a 10. I'm not sure anything here is going to be, but in terms of what I'm expecting, it's dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and it's a solid 9 for what I think is the Ritual 9.
I'm ready for the last beer.
I am ready for the last beer, and yes, yet another lie down, I think. Right, last one, thankfully, because I will be asleep if I do any more. Right then, there it is, whatever the last one is, let's give it a sniff. Compared to the last one, not a lot of aroma here, but the thing that does peek through is what I want. It is that Belgian yeast, it is the foam bananas. I know it's generic, I've said it a lot, but it is really just what these beers are all about, and it's absolutely there. It's not super pokey, but it's enough. It just keeps it coming in. I think this is the original blonde, and it's getting a solid 8 on the aroma. Right then, here we go. Cheers to the last one. Or is it? That could be the triple blonde. That feels pokier now. That feels quite strong. I think Mrs. Grummy Beards kept the strong ones till the end. There was no instruction on the order, but that does feel quite pokey. Now, original Leffe Blonde doesn't hide its ABV. It is quite strong an experience for 6 or 6.6, depending on where you're getting it from, but that's got some alcohol burn on the tongue. I think this is the triple blonde. It's really pokey. It's got quite a bit of bitter astringency to it as well. I'm not sure whether the hops have been up for that. It's definitely a bit tangier, a bit more of a challenging drink for some, I suspect. It's still pretty easygoing in the grand scheme of Belgian beer, but it definitely feels like one of the more complex options we've had today. It is very good. I'm not enjoying it as much as I did as the one that I thought was the Ritual 9, but I think on fair balance, I have to give it a 9 as well, because it is there. It maybe isn't as to my taste, but I think the overall complexity of the beer might actually be a bit better. So on balance, yeah, it's another 9.
Okay, so that's a total of 17. You think that's the triple?
I think this is the blonde triple.
You have already allocated the triple to another beer. Would you like that one for a side-by-side?
Why not? Let's do a blind comparison. Everyone's going to be able to see if I'm an idiot or not. I don't know. Funnily enough, these could be neither of the two that I think they are. So is this now feeling like the regular blonde? Yeah, they feel quite close. This one just feels like they've concentrated that one. And I think
so
this
which one, hold up to me, which one you think is the blonde now?
I think that's the blonde. That's the triple, and it could be neither, but they feel similar enough for that to make sense. And when I was talking about whatever this one is, I did say the regular Leffe blonde does show quite strong in taste. So, but yeah, they're both very nice, but this one is definitely a big amped up version of something. Right then, am I allowed to remove this blindfold now? Oh, it's bright. That is a bright light. Blindfolds and studio lighting. I feel like a mole that's just come out the ground for the first time. That is awful. Ooh, feeling very warm all of a sudden after 6 Belgian beers. Right then, in the dark. How did we do? What's the score?
Out of 5?
Yeah.
No, 6.
There are 6 beers.
6. You got 1 right.
Yes! Victory! Hey, it's better than none. This is going to be really interesting then. But anyway, the point of this was to find out which is the best without knowing what it is, not to prove that I can guess a load of beers, some of which I've never tried before. So, what's the order? What is my least favourite?
Your least favourite was actually the triple, coming in at 14.5 scored. So that was 7 for aroma, 7.5 for taste.
Okay, so the triple, let's have a look.
And you thought it was the amber.
Really? So for an 8.5, that is hiding. That is worryingly sessionable and weirdly fruity to say it's meant to be a triple version of the blonde. Okay, I'm happy with that. It's fine. It's nice. It definitely, if that's a premium price tag, yeah, I'm not sure it's worth it. What's next?
You then have 2 scored at 15. 1 you got correct, 1 you got wrong. So which one do you want first?
Let's do the wrong first.
The one you got wrong first was the Ritual.
I thought I got that right. I thought I got the Ritual 9 right. And this is my second. I thought I quite like this. Goes to show.
So this scored a 7 for aroma and 8 for taste. And you thought it was the Brune.
I'll be honest, can't remember what the Brune tastes like. So could have been. It's nice. Yeah, see, it did quite well on taste, so it's probably subjectively a bit twisted. And then what was the next one that scored even to this that I...
So even to this that you got correct, you got off to a fabulous start, scoring 7.5 for both taste.
It was so easy.
It was the Ruby.
It was so easy. It was so fruity, and it looks like that. I mean, obviously I couldn't see it, but I poured it, and I was like, this is, it's got to be. It's got to be. That's juice. That is... If you're trying to get someone into Belgian beer and they like sours and that kind of thing, or just a softer, fruitier beer, that ruby is outrageously quaffable. It's not a great Belgian beer, but as a standalone piece, yeah, absolutely fantastic. What's up next?
Next one coming in at 15.5, so it was 7 for aroma, 8.5 for taste. You thought it was the blonde, but it's actually the amber.
The amber beer. It does look nice, that one. It is definitely more in line with the style of a generic Belgian quasi-Trappist beer, because they're not really Trappist anymore, kind of, yes, but no. Anyway, what's up next?
So coming in at number 2, a total of 17 points. So it was 8 for aroma, 9 for taste.
Yeah.
You thought it might have been the triple.
Okay, so the Leffe Brown is the second best beer here. Interesting. It is proper. That is proper Belgian twang. And what we've learnt is, by default of this, they've sent the best 2 beers to the UK supermarkets anyway, so we probably shouldn't rush out, because that means the de facto number 1 is indeed the one and only Leffe Blonde. This is the original though, 6.6. It is better than what we can buy here now, but you really just can't beat a classic. It is the best. Am I surprised at this? A little bit. I thought I really wasn't that mad on the brown. I would never buy it, if I'm honest. I always think, no. I know that I like the blonde better, and we proved that, which is fine. But I really thought everything else in my mind, give or take, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was 1 or 2 up, but I thought it was going to be very much down this way. The fact that Ritual 9's down here, I'm pretty surprised. Although it was tied, really, with the very fruity one. So if you want something very strong or very fruity, they're kind of outliers in that respect, because they're quite different to everything else. That triple, though, I need to do the triple and the actual blonde side by side now. Caught it. It just doesn't work. And also, it's by far the least appealing looking. It's not really hazy as much as it is just dirty. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what I'll say is, we've kind of got the good stuff already. The amber, I'm surprised at. I thought that was going to be a bit washy and very much that fruited ruby. I'm going to do the de facto test now. Mrs. Crummy Beard, does it taste like beer? The answer is probably yes, but it's very fruity. I'm interested to see what she thinks about it.
It doesn't smell like beer.
Definitely not.
It does taste like beer.
Okay. But very fruity beer.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
It does taste a little like a lager and black.
It's super, super fruity. So there you have it. Don't rush over to Europe to buy the rest of them, because, well, no, you should. You should rush over to Europe to buy the real 6.6% blonde and not the new crabby 6% version we get here. I know 0.6% doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a massive difference. If you'd like me to compare them, or have I done that already? I've made too many videos now, I can't remember. But if you want me to compare them, let me know in the comments below, and I'll either link you to a video where I've already done it, or I'll make a brand new one. But yeah, what's your favourite Leffe? Let me know, please, in the comments. And I think that really is where we should wrap it up. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you'll be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers. That's staying in.